gardening friends. In today's video, I wanted to share with you some of my plants that I think are really easy and low maintenance. But before I do that, isn't this so pretty? I was looking through my kitchen window and here it's forming a little landscape view of all of the little snowflakes that are accumulating, and I thought they started to look like a little bit of a garden with like conifers and little plants and grasses, and I thought it was really intriguing. So the weather here in Toronto has been really snowy and really cold in the last couple of days, and I have been really bundling up inside and thinking about my indoor plants and actually taking care of them. I've been, removing dead leaves and just tending to them. But as I was doing that yesterday, I realized that, there are some plants in my home garden which are so easy and don't require too much of a fuss. And I thought I would share them with you in today's video and give you like a quick of my top 5 or 6 plants that I feel are easy, and for anyone with who feels like they don't have a green thumb, they can have a double green thumb with these plants because they are easy and don't require, and my criteria for easy is they don't require too much care in terms of even like pruning or repotting that often, as well as the second thing, the most important thing is they don't require too much water. So I just want to, take some time and share with you these beautiful plants that I have in my home garden. And for any of you who are starting to, get into plants or collect plants or haven't had success with plants with what you have, these are sure to kind of be in your stash, and you will be thrilled with the results that you get. So let me share them with you, and let's talk about them in this video. And if you are new to my channel, I am Preeti. I garden in Toronto in Zone 6, and I post about all things gardening and plants, and I also like to share, I don't do it very often, but a lot of my indoor plants and my experience with them and my recommendations. So please hit the thumbs up if you like this video, and I would love to hear if you have these plants in your home. And if there are others on your list that you feel are low maintenance and big results and beauty without too much fuss and too much maintenance at home. And we all know there are plants that we like that require that attention, but then these are the plants these are kind of the workhorses of our home garden, where they kind of do their thing and add this beauty without too much of that care and attention. But here's a close-up of this view, and I love how this is looking from my kitchen window. So without further delay, let me get on with the plants and show them to you now. So the very first plant on my list is this snake plant. It's also called the Sansevieria, mother-in-law's tongue, all kinds of names for this plant. But the characteristic about this plant is that it has these long leaves that are really all snake plants have these tall, almost spiky leaves, and lots of different patterns and variegation in the leaves. And this plant is really easy to take care of. It is, it grows, it doesn't grow too fast for me at least, but it doesn't require any care. Like, it doesn't need a lot of water. Maybe you water it once in 3 weeks. At least for me, in my temperature and humidity at home, I don't need to water this too often, like once in 3 weeks, sometimes even up to a month. It can live without too much water. And when you water it, don't give it too much water. I mean, it just needs a little bit water, and it does really well for me. So I love the snake plant, and this is something, if you are going to buy one plant for your home, this is definitely on my list that I wouldn't be without, because for a few reasons. It adds a nice height and architectural shape and this spiky kind of texture in the garden, in the home garden, and it looks really fabulous. Like here I have just one of this plant. in a corner, and that's all it needs. It doesn't really need another plant. I mean, of course, I've been thinking about what else I can add on this little plant stool, but that's besides the point. But I just wanted to show you that this is definitely on my list of plants that I would add if you're looking for a low maintenance, low water need plant in your home. Next plant I would say is Pothos for me, because this has been like a staple plant in my home garden. I have several varieties of Pothos, but as you can see, it grows without any fuss. It's tolerant of a lot of light conditions. And oh yeah, I wanted to also mention to you, the snake plant also doesn't require a lot of light. So you can put it in spots where you receive some indirect light, and it does really well for me. So here is a Pothos that I have in this container, and it is literally like climbing and growing and doing really, really fabulous for me, and it's gonna keep going. So I love Pothos for many reasons. It can trail, I have some that I have trained up a moss pole, and many different varieties. I have a lime variety, which I really love as well, and I have a marble queen. There is a bunch of varieties of Pothos out there, but I absolutely love this plant. And if there is, again, 1 or 2 plants you want to add to your home garden, this is definitely the one that should be on your list. And what I love about it is you can even grow it in water. Like I have a few propagating in my kitchen, and they've been in the water for now 2 or 3 years, and they're doing fabulous. So you can definitely leave them in water. So this is my number 2 plant, and doesn't require again a lot of water. It can stay in water, like you can put it in a jar of water and it'll root and it'll stay in there. But if it's in soil, I mean, it doesn't require constant watering. Like you will start to see the leaves turning a little bit yellow when it is very dry. So as soon as I see something like that, I know that I haven't watered it in a while. But usually every 2 to 3 weeks is good with watering this plant, and it is doing fabulous in my home garden. This is another example of my Pothos. This is a lime green Pothos, and this has been in this water, like a mason jar, for a long time now, and it does fabulously well. You know, it's been in water now for like at least 2 years, and it does well. And I've started another one in a jar as well. And I just love the ease of this plant and the way in which it just kind of gives you this sense of volume and sense of like lush without too much work. And that's what this plant will give you. So my third recommendation is any plant in the Dracaena family. So this plant here has been with me for a few years now, and I can tell you that it requires really, really not much care. It does well in all kinds of light situations. And the only thing, if it's too dry, you will start to see some of the leaves, you know, drying up, and you can just pull them out, or the tips of this plant that'll get like this. And I just typically just give it a little haircut. But usually, like if you keep it watered every 2 to 3 weeks, it does well, and it looks really, really good. I love this texture. I love how, you know, it has this full lush, you know, shape, and it can get large. I mean, you can find it in multi-trunk format. Like this one here is tied over here in the middle, but it has multiple trunks. Like if I was to remove this zip tie, it would kind of open up and become this multi-trunk plant. So I just love this plant a lot, very much. And I'll show you another one that I have as well, which I have on my fireplace, and it doesn't get a lot of light, and it's doing really well as well. Before I go there, I want to show you this beautiful Dracaena that I recently added. I stumbled upon this at my grocery store, and I just love it. It's so beautiful because it has this light pink in it, which I don't know if you can see. So Dracaena can come in a lot of different variegation and shades of green and pink and white. So look for the one that you love. And I am telling you, this plant is like, you know, it's rock solid. It does what it's supposed to do, and it will live for a long time and do really, really well. So Dracaena is definitely a great plant for your indoor garden. If you feel like you don't have enough time to baby a plant, water the plant, or whatever your reasons are, you want to try with an easy plant, this is definitely. And I love the spiky, as I said to you, the spiky texture is just amazing. Here is another one that I have, and this is again a single trunk here, and it's growing at a steady pace, and I've had it since it was a little baby, and it's really loving its life here. It doesn't get too much light. It gets watered maybe every 2 or 3 weeks, and it's happy. It's doing its thing, and it's really, really happy. I love how this kind of grows with this, you know, tall, and the trunk is pretty substantial, and I love this plant so much. And here's another pothos I have. So pothos is everywhere in my house. I love this plant, and I love that with one plant I have made so many different plants through propagation, and that's the beauty of a pothos. You can keep on adding more plants with what you have, so it's beautiful. Next plant on my list is ZZ plant. So this again is a beautiful low maintenance, low light requirement kind of a plant that doesn't need too much water and checks off a lot of those boxes for me. And I think this is, I just realized that this corner is like a lot of the plants that I want to share with you that are beautiful, like the snake plant, the pothos, and the ZZ plant. So ZZ plant is, again, it can come in, like there's a black ZZ plant as well, which is beautiful. I don't personally have it, but you know, one day I might add it to my collection. But I actually really love this plant. I love how thick and glossy the leaves are. I mean, although they are very dusty right now, but I need to come out here and clean this. But I love how it's easy. It doesn't need much. It doesn't get a lot of light in this corner. And all three of these do not get a lot of light in this corner, and they're doing really well. So again, this goes to show you that there are plants you can add in your home garden that will not, you don't have to have a south-facing window to enjoy these plants, and you don't need to be constantly a slave to watering this. If you're going away for 2 weeks, you know, you can water them before you leave and they'll be just fine. So you don't need to baby these plants all the time. So they are fabulous for that. And let me share with you another category of plants that I just thought about that are also really good with water, and they do really well. Before I go ahead, I wanted to show you, this is another pothos I have, and I am kind of training it up this moss bowl, but a lot of it is also trailing down. And it is also happy, and this is just a regular green pothos, and it has some variegation, but not like as much as the other one that I showed you. But I absolutely love, you know, training it up a moss bowl, and I need to get another one so I can actually, you know, put more of this plant and train it up here as well. So it's really easy, nice plant to add to your home garden. So last, I wanted to share with you this plant. This is Pepperomia Hope. So any plants in the Pepperomia family I find are really easy, and I'll also add on to that Hoyas. Hoya and Pepperomia, these are easy plants as well. They do not require a lot of water, and I find that they do well in different conditions, light conditions as well. So I have that Hoya in there for a while, and it is really does well with dry soil. It doesn't get too much light. I mean, it's sitting against a north-facing window, and it's doing really well. It gets a lot of bright indirect light, but not a lot of, you know, direct light. And same with this Pepperomia. I mean, it's really happy. It's putting on a lot of new growth, and it's really pretty, and I love the shape of the leaves. I mean, it's got these thick leaves that store a lot of water, and it does really well. And I'll also show you another Pepperomia I have, which is also very beautiful and doesn't require a lot of water. There's another Pepperomia which is really pretty as well, and this one is also quite low maintenance and has very thick leaves and doesn't require you to water it that often. And I absolutely love this plant family as well, and I have a few of them in my garden, and I can tell you there are many more that I can add to this list. But I think if you were to ask me which ones were my favorite and the ones that add different variety in your home garden. Like if you were to go to a garden center and pick a snake plant, a pothos, a Dracaena, and a Pepperomia, as well as a Hoya, you would add enough different textures, leaf shapes, and colors, variegated colors in your home garden for you to kind of then build from there and enjoy them in their different shape and form. You could create a little nook with all of these textures and have them all. So which is why I also picked these different plants, because some of them have a trailing habit, spiky leaves, variegation. So you can add variety instantly with low maintenance plants in your home garden and get that instant joy of like creating this beautiful indoor garden corner in your home. So just wanted to share these with you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to see more of these types of videos from me, give me the thumbs up, and if you have ideas for any future videos, I mean, I was actually thinking about making another video about plants that are trailing and the ones that I have, that you can put in a hanging basket, and maybe I will make a video on that. But I just wanted to thank you so much for coming along and watching this video with me, and I hope you guys are having a beautiful day wherever you're joining me from, and I'll catch you in my next video.